Why did the turkey join the band? No one? Because it had the drumsticks. Come on. Why did the turkey refuse to eat dessert? It was already stuffed. You guys, tough crowd this morning. I absolutely love Thanksgiving. It is a day that we all know well. Every year, it's something that we celebrate because you got the turkey, it's a family gathering, you got the Macy's Day Parade for some of you love to do that. You got pumpkin, you got the pie, hopefully from, whether you make it homemade or I'm a big Costco fan. They just do it so well, and they're just so big. And, you know, if you go to Fred Meyer Safeway, they're just so small, but you get the Costco one. And then I don't feel bad because I'm like, well, it's just a slice. And it's an enormous slice. And then you have that awkward pause right before you eat a meal where someone says, let's go around the table and everyone share what it is that you're thankful for. And then everyone is just like, oh, I don't want to be the first one to go. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. You fumble for an answer. It's got to be important because everyone's going to listen. They're going to judge my words, even though they're my family. So it's got to be something good. I got to think of something I'm grateful for. And then sometimes it just feels like Thanksgiving is then just kind of rehearsed, where I'm trying to think through it ahead of time. What am I grateful for? But what if Thanksgiving isn't something about, it's not about counting blessings or remembering the good things? What if that's not it? What if Thanksgiving is actually an invitation to see the world a little bit differently? 1 Thessalonians 5:18 says, give thanks in all circumstances. Not for the circumstances, because some of the things in life that we all go through are incredibly painful. They're incredibly difficult. And I don't want to be someone who's going to ignore or deny the pain or the struggle or even the fear, the weight and the panic sometimes. I don't want to just be someone who puts on a fake smile, because I can do that. I've done it so many years of my life. But about learning to see God in the middle of everything. How do I do that better? How do I don't want to just ignore things. I want to live life with my eyes wide open. And I want to also notice all of the small moments that God gives me that are around me, even when life is very, very messy. And in that, there is a gratitude, this kind of deep in the bones gratitude. It's a way of seeing, and that's how it happens. It's a lens that helps me recognize every moment, every breath, every heartbeat, every relationship, and to see every single one of those as a gift. Because the truth is, if I'm only going to look to God, especially at Thanksgiving, when I'm looking and thinking about what are the gifts that God has given me, if I'm only looking for the big things, kind of the aha things, like, oh yeah, God, you really prevailed when that happened, or you really came through. If we do that, if that is all we're going to do, is when we're sitting around the Thanksgiving table looking at the moments that are the big things that God does, then we're missing out on a relationship with God and what it is that God is really doing, because God is at work doing things every moment of our lives all around us every day. But if we can start to continue this journey of opening ourselves up to really see, we're going to see that God is so active and alive in so many ways that maybe we never even expected. And what would happen if we could live every moment of every day recognizing that we're in a relationship with God and that God is doing things on our behalf and God is speaking to us in ways that maybe we didn't even expect? We would start to see every one of these moments as sacred. James 1:17 says, every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights. But often when I start to think about, okay, these good gifts from God, I'm looking again for the big things. I'm looking for the miracles. I'm looking for the power. I want the prayers that are coming and they're happening, and God, you've prevailed. I want the big win, you know? I want the plays that score the points. But then I miss the sacredness of the ordinary, the fact that God's gifts aren't always and usually aren't big and bold. They're actually very small. They're very subtle. They're woven throughout every day into the fabric of our lives. The warmth of the sun when we actually get it, when it pops out on this beautiful fall, crisp, cold day. The smell of coffee in the morning, because my wife makes that, and I get up. She gets up usually just a little bit before me, and she starts the coffee. It's one of my favorite moments every day. It's just to smell coffee already brewing. The sound of laughter from my kids. I got to play one of my childhood favorite games with them yesterday. My girls have been saying, "Dad, what is that game? What's that game on the shelf?" I'm like, "Oh, that's a game I haven't played in 40 years. It's one of my favorite childhood games." And it's a completely torn and trashed up game, and it's still one of my favorites, and we got it out, and they played it, and they loved it, and even this morning, they pulled it out and played it again. And we just laughed, and I totally got destroyed by them. And I didn't care a bit, because I was in this moment with my girls. Or the peace of a moment of just kind of, that comes in a moment of quiet that we get. Especially when your day feels very heavy and very busy. And those aren't just nice things. Those are holy things. Those are glimpses of God's goodness, and they're reminders that He is in every single detail of every single day. Thanksgiving isn't just about being grateful for the things that we have. It's about being awake to what it is we already have. It's about what is already here. It's about saying, "God, I see you in the small things. I see you in the ordinary things. I see you in the things that sometimes I rush past without even a second thought." And true gratitude, it's not even just about appreciating good things. True gratitude is trust. When I say, "God, I trust you," when I say, "God, thank you," even, I am recognizing that these aren't even gifts that I have earned. I have done nothing to deserve them. And it's not something that I can even create on my own. Gratitude is about surrender. It's about admitting I'm not in control of my life. But there is a God who holds all things, including me. And in a world that tells us that we need to make our own way, gratitude says, I trust that I am being provided and cared for. And in a culture that says, hey, we've got to strive, we need to fight, you're gonna go after, you're gonna achieve more because you can do it, you have the ability, we need to have this upward success. Gratitude teaches me that even when life doesn't look the way that I thought it was supposed to be, even when I'm in a season of a lot of confusion and loss, God is there. God is always giving me gifts, whispering to me every day His love, drawing close in so many beautiful ways. And trust isn't always easy because it requires me to let go of the idea that I'm self-sufficient, that I'm in control. It means recognizing I am not the source of the blessings. When I give thanks, I'm placing my confidence in God's goodness and saying, God, I trust that you're here. Oh, and this is the hard one. To be able to say, God, you're enough. You're enough. God, you are enough. I think sometimes that's the hardest thing that I've ever said. God, you are enough. This is where gratitude gets real, right here. It's because it's one thing to just say to God, thank you. God, yeah, thank you, thank you. Especially when life is doing well, when the blessings are obvious. But when things are going hard, when we're faced with loss and disappointment and frustration or pain, this is where Giving thanks in all circumstances becomes something radical. I love it. It's not about pretending to be grateful for the hard stuff. It's about finding a reason to give thanks even in the middle of it. Not because it's easy, but because we trust God is with us. In the Bible, this is a theme that happens over and over and over. The psalmist even crying out to God while in this deep emotional pain, I'm going to give thanks. You have Paul and Silas imprisoned and beaten, yet praying and singing these beautiful hymns to God. And Jesus, who faced betrayal and death, breaking bread with people that he loves and giving thanks the night before, going, I know where I'm headed, but I'm still going to enjoy this moment with people that I deeply love. Because gratitude is how we keep our hearts soft. And it's how we keep our eyes open. It's how we remember that no matter what we face, God is in it with us. So maybe we could try something different. Instead of just listing through things that we're grateful for over this last year, trying to go, as we're sitting around the table, quick, how do I remember all those things? What was the high moments? How do I have something worthy of sharing that maybe outdoes my brother, my sister, or my spouse? Maybe we could ask ourselves, what have I missed? What are the gifts in my life that I'm overlooking? What is it that I'm taking for granted? What are the things that I'm rushing past without a second thought? And then we dig deeper. God, where have you shown up in the unexpected places? Who in my life has been a profound source of love for me this year? Support or comfort? What are the hard things that have caused me to grow and need God more? That doesn't usually make my list. What are the things that have drawn me closer in dependence on God? Not because I wanted to, but because I had to, and that is a gift. That is a gratitude that's more than just a holiday checklist. It's a choice to see differently and to live with our eyes open. And it's a way to recognize that God is present in everything, because every single moment of every single day is a sacred moment. The beauty, the mess, the joy, the struggle, it's all sacred. And that's kind of been my prayer, is God, continue to keep me to be soft to what you're doing all around me. Oh, God, give us the words this year, more words than just thanks. God, open our eyes to see the gifts that you have given us that are all around us, and may we choose gratitude not as a feeling but as a way of life. And help us to see every moment, even the ones that don't look perfect, as a gift from you, God, because you never stop giving, and you never stop reaching, and you never stop loving us. So this Thanksgiving, help us to embrace the gift of surrender, of trust, and may we know that every breath, every heartbeat, every sunrise is a reminder that we are loved, that we are seen, and that we are held. So this Thanksgiving, it's got to be more than just a holiday. But help us see more, to live more, in a way that we say, God, I see you here, I see you in everything, and for that I am deeply and profoundly grateful for what you do in my life. So today, God, fill our time, fill our bellies, bless us with your presence, and bless this meal. Amen.